So we used to get through a lot of them. My dad kept saying, stop wasting money, it's not...
Stop wasting money, not wasting cats!
Right, so anyway, we had this cat that was ill all the time. And
he was just back the news, probably.
Yeah, Believer. Yeah, I'm terrified.
I'm going to which house?
Oh, God, bloody hell.
Don't let me go to the Pilkingtons.
And for some reason, it kept being sick all the time.
Yeah, that is nice. That's definitely nice.
So my mum kind of thought, I've had enough of this, and she shaved it.
Whoa. Now, I know you're not vets in your family, but what correlation did your mum think there was between you being sick and shaving it?
Because it kept being sick, and it was a pain to wash, because it kept getting
So she wanted a dry white cat.
So...
Why did she just varnish it? What?
It's weird,
So now he's cold and sick?
No, but not all of it. She left sort of the back half, but sort of from its waist, sort of...
I love that! Shave it because it's sick on its own!
And it was the weirdest looking thing. I mean, normally I like cats. I'm always like giving yours a stroke on the head and that.
Yeah.
As soon as she did that, it was like, oh... Yeah. Can't touch it. And then...
So now it's sick, cold and hated.
Yeah.
I love... Carl...
It must have, the other cats must have been taking the mick out of it constantly. You're just making things worse. Did it get, I'm hoping that it got run over and was put out of its misery.
No, I think it got alright, that one. Or is that yeah, it did get run over.
Oh, God. Oh, dear.
How many cats do you say you got through?
I'd say whilst I was living at home, it's still on the increase even though I'm not there. So whilst I was there, probably 5.
God.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. And were you upset each time, or you just got used to it?
It's one of them things, isn't it? Like I've said before, when you first see something, it's a bit of a shock. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Elephant Man or whatever.
Yeah.
First time you see him, it's that sort of, oh, look at that.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you saw Steve? No, I'm not being funny. Do you remember the first?
Yeah, but I've said this before. It's always then you get used to how people look, and No.
I'm gonna burst. You got to play a record.
No,
because I see Steve's face.
No, but I've got used to it.
Shut up.
Well, here we are again, XFM, on a Saturday, just gone 1 o'clock, Steve, if I'm very much mistaken. But we're not here, as such, we're away again, gallivanting around. We've got to do the special sort of best of again.
Okay.
Which we did a few weeks ago, so this is the best of the last 3 weeks. Which I think is, I think it's the best 3 weeks we've ever had. But I'd like it condensed into 2 hours.
Yeah, some great music as well in there.
Yeah, there'll be some great music interspersed with fine chat that you've already heard.
Yeah.
Except this bit's new. We've actually, out of the kindness of our heart, we've come in last week.
Yeah.
And we've done a few clips just because we felt a bit guilty about shooting off.
Yeah. Even now, having heard this link, I'm beginning to wonder if it was worth our time.
Yeah. Well, should we play a classic link?
Let's play, what, from the last 3 weeks?
After this is Feeder.
It's just the way I'm feeling.
Well, if you've just tuned in, it's XFM 104.9, you've got that bit right. Ricky Gervais show with me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
Carl is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week because we're away. And it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks since last time we were away when we put out the best of.
It's a long time since we've had any White Van Carl. For those that don't remember this particular hot feature, we basically ask Carl some of the questions that are asked of a white van driver in the sun. They always have this on Saturday afternoons. Anyway, here's the first one. And they're not fascinating, Carl, but I'm just interested on your take, really.
Yeah.
What do you make of Cilla Black quitting Blind Date after her husband sent a message from beyond the grave? Are you familiar with this story?
I didn't know that. What's that?
She went to see a medium, and supposedly her husband passed on information through the medium, which was incredibly vague, but persuaded her to quit live on air.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? If even dead people are saying, enough's enough. But I'll tell you what though, talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman, I don't even know if it's ghost really, it's just a bit weird.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
There's this woman, and she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down like a street in her area, it's a nice day and everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later, she's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike.
She was riding her own bike?
Riding her own bike, cycling down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right. Not another child.
No. So it's her, she's seen herself.
What, Carl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where does this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever... I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I'm honest, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen, nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well, then she's wrong.
She said she saw herself.
She saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on
And as an adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself? Or did she ride on by and think, that's a bit weird, there's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop, I'll be late for work.
Yeah, if I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah. And where is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No.
You overheard it on the bus?
No, it was in the 14 Times.
Ah, right. Well, that's the answer.
Good.
We've got to the bottom of that.
Right, good.
Carl, let me ask you now. Carl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the sign here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face, look at that, he looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car, he's terrified.
I love Carl.
He's sprung to attention
Carl.
there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man moths.
Right, yeah, man moths.
I
Man
love
moths.
the fact that's why he was so excited that they bred a man moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats an entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean man moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy cow from the Ice Age. I mean, elephant.
You're not so excited about that then? You could take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man moth...
A man moth is a different matter. If we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
They've bred an half man, half moth.
This is what we
that's how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear these ghost
Are you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, is it?
Carl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that
Yeah.
Should we speak
when we say
slow?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slow? Would that be a help to you?
No, go on. Next
What do you make of that?
Do you think that's good? We don't need to bring back mammoths.
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're going to like get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a fence, to be honest, Carl. They'd probably be a fence.
No, but you're asking it as if like, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong. They thought they had it all under control.
well,
Have you
Dinosaurs.
learned nothing from Jurassic Park, Carl?
Dinosaurs would say, think about it before you do it. But with a hairy elephant, it's not going to.
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Carl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and Stephen Hawking in a queue, and they go and say, "Carl, got a bit of a problem."
And thinking of cloning a man and a moth. Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I won't close around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my clothes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So just for a second, as the words "man moth" came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? Just for the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth?
I pictured
What kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's?
just a little man head.
Right. What was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like a bit shocked.
Perplexed. So it was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep.
Yeah, he'd woken up.
He just went in for to have a goiter removed, and they said, we've replaced your goiter with the body of a giant moth.
Yeah.
Is that alright, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
Little man.
Right. Okay.
And he's just bumping into a lamp.
Just bumping into a lamp.
Carl, if you went into hospital and they'd done something, what's the worst thing they could do, right? What would you rather have done, right? You wake up and you've got lobster claws for hands. You wake up and you've got duck's feet. Or you wake up and you've got one horn coming out of your head.
The worst thing,
Yeah.
probably the horn coming out of my head.
Why?
Get in the way.
That'd be useful, wouldn't it, in fights and stuff? And for like parties, people play
Well, I
points.
suppose the lobster claws would also be quite handy there. Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful clip, and
Yeah.
a great record that preceded or followed it. I'm not sure. But could I make some dedications?
Yeah.
Because I last week, just before we had to come in to record this, I popped out trying to get onto the tube, and I had a nightmare because there were millions of protesters, so-called protesters. Now, a lot of them obviously doing good work. There was one fella, I think you'd have appreciated it, because I know you are very politically active, and I think this guy has really studied hard, and he's realised the best way to make his voice heard on the international political stage is to ride around on a tricycle wearing a jester's hat. He was really shaking up the bloody
I
government.
wouldn't want to be George W. Bush about now.
Not indeed.
Once he sees that.
Once he sees that
And
guy.
most of his aides listening and going, George W., look at this guy. Where's that? That's in London, England. Okay, call off the forces.
Is that a large tricycle?
Yeah.
Is he wearing a nappy?
Get me Colin Powell. Why'd you call him Colin, not Colin? It's the way he likes it. Don't about. Just call off the troops. There's a in a jester's hat. Call the troops off.
Just bleep some of those bits.
XFM 104.9 of a Saturday. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
But we're not here. No, we're away. So this is the best of, and I hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are.
I had some exciting news this week, Carl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly. Because I know you think you like things to be quite samey. You like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, we've had some crosswords. Because I remember. What did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of
I don't know why you're making a big deal.
Do you want to bring?
I'm just being honest though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I know that, Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did he say before?
Yeah, well,
he was a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew. I could see by the look of his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, "Why's your kid?" And he goes, "Oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders."
Right.
It was like that when I saw Carl, and I brought you in, and I went, "What do you think of that, Carl?" I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said. You get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you've got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might just get used to it.
Well, don't bring it up, Steve. Don't look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure?
Carl.
Did you discuss it?
Carl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office. As you walk through...
It's worse than you ever thought.
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais, what did I do on Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing,
For those that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine, apparently it sells quite well. It's one of the sort of female, kind of issues magazines. I think it's called Company Magazine. It's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your Moore or your Vanity Fair or whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello. Who's in there this year? In the 50, in the top 50 of the entire country.
and then they vote and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser. doesn't it? Which always sort of unnerves me.
And also
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
it's not really, because
no.
also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to... Go on, then.
There's a huge... I don't know if this is international. It could even be international. I'm not sure, actually. So I could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake, etc. So Fred Durst, that sort of person, So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated because they were telling me that last year, all right, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is number one, most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas, okay? This year, I'm rather annoyed, because all I'm going to win is a moped. That's the prize this year, a moped.
Whoa, backtrack.
What?
Sorry? Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
Just a moped. All I'm going to get is a moped.
All you're going to win is a moped.
Yeah,
you've got no chance.
You've got
no chance. Who else is in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Lots of them are people you've never heard of. I know Duncan from Blue.
Dean. So you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're going to come behind the other 49.
Because there are people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll see my photo, and they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to Heat, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC. Brilliant. You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rocking.
It is.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams.
The arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks.
Right.
And then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, don't go along with it. But if they're half bad, put up with it. That's
sure.
Right. The dancing.
Brilliant.
Right?
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I want to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves.
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut and it had become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry, how is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before, you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing, you didn't even get in the... That's not an... Imagine if that was a film! This is a boy's dream of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, that was Billy Elliot. Do you think he won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose. Alright?
Yeah.
I'm fed up they banned it. Let's go to Eyes Shut. Flash dance. First, there was... it's Warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So... There's always other
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So
that's solved. Well, Jake, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee if you follow that advice.
So the advice there is do an arranged marriage
if she's not ugly.
minging, if she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing. Get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great.
XFM 104.9, we're not here. This next clip is one of my favourite clips. Look, It needs no introduction. Here it is.
What should we do next? What should we do next?
It's too much.
Do we need them out of the way?
Do we need them out of the way?
Yeah, just
Let's explain it again.
if you're new, I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out. You know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff. Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish. We've done octopus. She said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?
Just doing some research, right? I'm sort of working my way through different creatures and insects and stuff that's on the planet.
Yeah.
Right? And finding out if we need them or not. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know much about snails?
Well, sea snails.
Well, yeah.
Snails in general. Don't know much about snails, land snails. Don't know about sea snails, like whelks, top shells, that sort of thing.
Would you say they're important?
What's the sense do you mean by importance?
Say if we had to sort of get rid of some animals and insects and that because we're running out of room.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what I know about some snails. I don't know if this applies to sea snails as well. I mean, I called you today because a lot of other places are shut.
Yeah.
Right? So, I know they like to eat stamps, apparently. The glue on stamps. They love it, right? Apparently a lot of letters and stuff aren't getting to where they're meant to be getting because snails are crawling into letterboxes and eating stamps. That obviously doesn't apply to the sea ones, but that's a problem they're causing.
All right.
Were you aware of that?
No.
No? Bet you're glad you answered the phone today. Right? They love beer.
Beer, yeah. Who doesn't?
And also, I don't know if this is right, but I heard that they sleep for 13 years, or can do.
Right. I wouldn't know if they can sleep for 13 years or not. But I mean, sea snails are pretty important. Yeah, they do quite a good job in the sea. They graze on algae and that. They
But
provide food for other animals. I mean, you can say that about any fish. You know, how any animal whether they exist.
would you be upset if, someone said, we're getting rid of them?
Oh yeah.
You would be?
They're an animal, I wouldn't.
Forget being like favouritism and all that I get for them, right? There'll be other things knocking around you can sort of spend your time looking after. You'll still have a job, don't be worried about that. Because I'm not going to get rid of all the fish. Jellyfish need looking after, so you're safe.
Yeah.
But do we need them? Come on, there's loads of people saying, come on, we've got to move on through the animals, and you're holding them up saying, well, I want to keep them.
Well, who's saying we need to... That just sounds a bit crazy to me.
Just imagine. Do you know what I mean? And they would come to you because you work in an aquarium, so they'd be asking for your advice.
Right.
And you're slowing it down.
Well, they asked my advice and I'm giving it to them, so, that's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, but snails, I mean, like I say, they drink beer and that, what do they do apart from some food for a whelk?
They were around, their descendants around a lot longer than we have been.
Yeah, they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, they've survived that long, so they must be doing something pretty good.
Well, apparently they sleep for 13 years, so really, even though they've been around for ages...
I think that sounds a bit... They don't think they sleep for 13 years.
Not all of them, just the tired ones. So, snails, do we need them?
Well, yeah, I just think they've got it's not for us to say, do we need them or not, we can't.
So you think we should keep them?
Yeah, definitely.
Carl, I'm proud of you. That was getting really quite annoying. I know. What did he think he was doing? What? I don't know what you tell these people. I mean, you don't get their permission to play this out, do you? You just don't tell
the thing is, right, I sort of told him what it was about, but we won't say who he is or where he works, because it doesn't matter. I just needed to speak to someone who knows.
I know the fact that you were trying to get an answer out of him by suggesting that he would be safe, because he can look after jellyfish if he gave the okay to destroy snails.
He's getting livid, you can tell.
Oh, God. Brilliant. So they've been around a long time, but what have they done?
Well, right, last week when I did Do We Need 'Em, do you know when I called up one of the museums, didn't I? Science Museum.
Yeah, you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wanted to tell you before when the song was on, but you're so busy listening to it.
Yeah, was I so busy listening to a song I was playing?
Yeah, but we're doing a radio show, aren't we?
Alright, what's your point?
Well, I just wanted to say, she emailed in to say I got her name wrong, so I'm just apologising for that.
What did you call her?
I think I called her Jessica.
What was her name?
I don't know, I've got it on email somewhere.
What? This is not an apology!
No, yeah, I'm
You've
just
got
saying-
it wrong again!
You might have said her real name. How is that an apology?
Well, I remember, I read the email, so, I
But who are you apologising
think
to?
her name's Jackie, I think.
Oh, you've got it wrong again, haven't you?
Well, anyway, and she just said if you want to see dinosaurs and that, go to the museum.
You were complaining about that as well, weren't you? You went to a museum and there was too many dinosaurs. He said you just need 4.
No, well, Steve, have you been to the one in Knightsbridge?
I think
this
so.
one that I called up, right? It's nice. You go in, you get a good collection of stuff. You walk in, there's 3 or 4 dinosaurs. You've had enough, right? I went into New York, right? Went to the museum there, hundreds of them. You can't move for dinosaurs. Yeah. It's almost like they're responsible for them being extinct. There's loads of them. So all I'm saying is, if you want to see a dinosaur, go to the one near Knightsbridge. They've got a nice selection, some old vases and stuff. It's worth going. So
That was great, Carl. Play a record. Well done.
with a bit of Amy Man.
Oh, I'm obsessed with this song, Red Vines. It's brilliant.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais show with Steve Merchant, hello there. And we're not here this week, we're off jetting around the world, so we've pre-recorded these links. The time is currently somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock.
So a time check there from Steve Merchant.
No problem.
Yeah, and
What about this weather? Isn't it warm, stroke, edit that, Carl, cold? Okay, whichever one.
I'm pleased to see that the congestion charge has had some considerable effect. Had no effect.
so just
Wasn't that great on telly last night, the film?
Yeah. I particularly enjoyed last night's EastEnders, Coronation Street, Brookside.
okay, yeah, but
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Tell us about this monkey, Carl.
You're going to love this one, Steve, right? So last week we were talking about how, like, a lad left his family because there was problems at home and that. He went and lived in the wood, he got airy, right?
No.
Leave it there, we haven't got time to go into
Right,
it.
so...
That's what happened.
And that's what happened, he lived with the monkeys, he went airy.
That's
Anyway,
that's what happened.
looked into some other stuff about, like, airy kids and all that. Came across this story about a bloke, right, who worked in a zoo,
Oh dear.
right? So...
Trouble's brewing.
loving his job and that, but it's quite a lonely sort of job because you don't see many people, you're just dealing with animals all the time, right? So anyway, he gets a bit pally with a monkey because it's the closest thing to a human.
Well, that he is.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't really go that close to apes. It's dangerous.
What do you mean? What type was it? Do you
Just
think
let
was a
it tell the
Was it a
story.
chimpanzee?
I reckon it was a chimp, yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
you
a
don't
chimp.
even know, so
It was a
it's
chimp.
no.
It was a chimp.
Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, does
So
it?
he
It's
gets
the story.
pally with him?
Right, so he gets pally with
What,
him.
do they go on
and
holiday together?
well, no, I mean, starts
On the pool together.
starts off just checking each other out and, probably sharing lunch and that together.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, this goes on for a while. They're getting on well and that. And then after a while, right, the monkey starts sort of imitating him a bit more and sort of walking upright.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Right? So he thinks, oh, that's a bit weird. Anyway, they get on really better and what have you. So he thinks, you could live at home with me, this.
Yeah.
Because we're getting on a storm.
Yeah.
Right? So he takes him home and before
Is
you
this
know
the
it...
beginning of Beneath the Planet of the Apes? I think it is. I think you've seen this on video.
I'm worried, because he's already imitating him and they're moving in together. I'm thinking it's maybe a bit like single white female. Single white zookeeper.
Ah, brilliant.
Right, so anyway, so it's moving in and it's getting used to sort of the normal human life. He's having a cup of tea in the morning.
Yeah. PG tips.
He finishes the day off with a
Finishes the day off with what?
It doesn't have to move a piano at one point,
He
does it?
finishes the day off with a little brandy. He pours himself one. Is he wearing a smoking jacket?
I'll tell you what, Carl, you're a maniac,
Listen,
mate.
no, this is why it attracted me. It's amazing, right? So he's having his brandy and that, loving his life. Next thing you know, he sort of, I don't know if he loses it or he gets shaved, but the top half of his body is hairless, right? Apart from his head, right? So he's got nice.
So it's the opposite of the kid.
Well,
Yeah,
this is what
well,
I'm saying.
that would happen.
Right?
Well, hang on, but so you don't know if
You
he
don't
was
even
shaved
know.
or if
How did it say? Then the hairless. What?
I'll bring it in for you, the story, and then you
All
can
right,
see
well,
if I've
keep
gone
going,
wrong.
keep going.
So anyway, so this is going on, and he's having a great life. Then the zookeeper starts getting a bit annoyed because he's having a better life than the zookeeper. The zookeeper's in the zoo.
This is such
So the
rubbish.
zookeeper's still got to do a day's work. The monkey's at home, he's partying.
Well,
he's
it gets
got
to a
his other
point when he
shipmates
says
around.
there's no point you coming in to the zoo because the whole reason of you being there was because you're being kept there.
Right.
And he didn't want to bring the memories back, so he said, you stay at home. So
You are you're talking such.
Just let him finish.
God, I don't know if I can sit here and listen to this drivel.
I'm fascinated.
It's
It
nearly
sounds
over anyway,
amazing.
right?
It sounds extraordinary. Carl.
So he's walking up, right? He's having a tea in the morning, finishing the day off with brandy. Gets a bit out of hand. Only tries it on with the zookeeper's wife.
Make him go away, please.
How does he do that?
Well, because he's around humans a lot, he becomes a bit of a charmer. And
But what is it that he could do to seduce her? Pick fleas out of her?
he didn't say.
He's
but-
built. He was built.
Yeah, it's well done.
So what about that?
What do you mean? What about it, Carl? It's obviously not true.
I don't understand how
I
that...
love that he becomes a charmer. He's got better taste in brandy.
Exactly.
And he, that
What
is.
was it that he was doing that seduced her?
I don't know. Maybe because he was at home more than the zookeeper was.
So what would he be doing,
I love
Carl?
the fact that-
He's not going to be talking with her. They're not going to be playing like Trivial Pursuit.
Maybe she liked the silent type. He didn't go into that. He just said that's when the trouble started.
Oh my God.
Is that what Suzanne did when she brought you?
Talking to the sun.
Oasis and Songbird. It's a nice little ditty
It's all right, yeah.
of a Saturday.
Yes, thank you.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I think we should go straight into it, Karl. I think we should do the competition. There's Karl in the corner.
It seems a little premature.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I
Do you
think
reckon we
so.
save it? It's
Yeah,
so good. We should tease it out of them.
It's a big thing.
It's just that I've got absolutely nothing to say.
Sure.
So I haven't really.
Well, I mean, like often I know you'll have spoken to Karl in the week. This week, for some reason, I've been speaking to him.
Oh, right.
I spoke briefly to him about Michael Jackson and the documentary.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I thought that was extraordinary.
Amazing,
I asked
amazing
Karl's
piece of
opinion.
work. Yeah.
And he didn't mention to me the fact that Michael Jackson likes to climb up in trees.
No.
He didn't mention anything about his bizarre relationship with children. He didn't mention anything about his obsessive billionaire spending sprees.
Right.
He didn't mention anything about the mannequins he has in his thing, or the fact that he drives around his sort of 7 hotel suites in Las Vegas in a little kind of old people's scooter. The only thing of note for Karl was he said to me, "Did you notice how big his hands are?"
I'll tell you what, though, I did.
What? How you look at... The man's got, like, a face that he's had reconstructed... Well, I can't
know.
even say that, it's libelous.
Yeah, no,
But,
he hasn't.
He's got
He's had two nose
face.
jobs. Yeah,
And
but,
you're looking at his hands.
but I think it's because you look at him and he looks a bit like there's a bit of androgyny there, but it's sort of like it is quite a petite sort of old lady's face in a way. But then you see these labourers' hands come out. That's always the way with a tranny, isn't it? You know what I mean?
What, you can't accuse him of being a tranny?
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's right. No, I know he's not.
enough issues, now you're accusing him of being...
I like him. I thought he came up that brilliant. I thought it was really... I really felt sorry for him. No, I think he cleared up a few things as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was a fascinating piece of work. But I did like the shopping spree. That was great.
Extraordinary, 'cause he's
just
got
going
such
around
bad
just
taste.
pointing. I know it was bad taste, wasn't it? It was like one of those bazaar shops. You know what I mean? There's anything, sort of a gift shop, but they're trying to make it look like Ning.
But if
And it's sprayed gold.
If he'd been living in a trailer park, he'd have been ordering, one of those porcelain dolls dressed like a Harley Davidson
I know,
bike
yeah.
rider, or an Elvis commemorative plate. It was the kind of billionaire equivalent of that.
But the hands were a giveaway. It's the same as those sort of transvestites. Well, it's like you get
What is it about his hands when he
well, you know when you get like a cab driver or something, right, and he decides to turn transvestite about 60, and he goes on Kilroy. Do you know what I mean? That way, they've got a twin set of pearls and he goes, I've never felt so comfortable. But his hands are still big. He's got a little wig and he's got the lipstick on and he's with his teenage kids who are going, kill me.
Do you think he's been having surgery on his hands to make them larger?
Bigger, yeah.
Is that why he's wearing that glove?
Exactly, because but I think he wants to be a goalkeeper.
Right.
And they said, well, you can't, Michael, you've got big hands.
It would help him climb the trees.
It's yeah. And he can play tennis now without a racket.
Yeah. So what did you make of it, Carl? Were you intrigued?
The Michael Jackson thing. It's, you know, it was alright. But, like, that got a load of attention in the press. But the Trisha programme got nothing.
Okay.
Which, I know, well, Steve called me up in the week, right? Like 10 o'clock in the morning, I was at work. And he goes,
So she thinks so at 10 o'clock.
Preparing this show.
Most people go to work about 8, 9.
Are you watching Trisha and that? I said, no, what is it? He goes, oh, you'll be loving it, right?
Freaks, was it, Help Me, My Mum's a Freak?
Siamese twins.
Right.
So I couldn't watch it, but he said, oh, it might be on again because they repeat stuff on ITV2.
Right.
So I had my dinner late. Right, instead of having it at like 1 o'clock like I normally do, I had it at like 2:30.
Yeah.
Sat in the office, put the telly on, ITV2. These Siamese twins.
Did it blow your mind?
It was amazing. You know, we talk about a lot of things on the show quite a lot. The Airy Kids crop up a lot.
I was waiting. It's been 10 minutes and you haven't mentioned the Airy Kid.
Right. And last week we were talking about Siamese twins, weren't we? So it was weird that this programme was on, but it was amazing. I mean, what
I think you can't refer to them as Siamese twins. I think they're known as conjoined twins.
Why?
I think Siamese is maybe considered derogatory or as an old antiquated phrase.
Yeah, I think it's because the first famous ones were actually from Siam.
Right.
And that doesn't exist anymore.
No, it's conjoined, Carl.
Yeah.
Get the phrase right.
But you'd think that if that's happened to you, that wouldn't be that sort of offensive. The names that you must get called.
Right. You think that's least
Siamese
your worries?
twins, I'd say, well, that's, yeah.
Now, were you stunned by where they were connected?
Just live with it, we'd say.
Because they were connected, of course, at the forehead.
Oh.
Sort of, which was quite extraordinary.
Well, there was one set of Siamese twins. One had a job and the other one didn't.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah. The other one was unemployed. The other one had a job. She had to go to work. She had to get up at 6 o'clock on her day
I'm
off.
supporting you, literally.
Yeah.
Then they get done off the social for sort of...
Yeah, because everyone was signing on. That wasn't a question that Trisha asked. Annoyingly, because I know that much of the audience was thinking that.
There's a few things that didn't crop up.
What questions would you have asked of them? Because what things did you feel weren't mentioned?
I'd love to just watch Carl watching amazing things.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like early learning.
Mouth slightly open.
Yeah,
some
mouth open and dribble, looking round to see if anyone else has seen it. You know, that, like when a cat sees a bird land on the balcony. It can't believe it's luck.
I'd probably say, how do you buy her like a birthday present?
A surprise gift, yeah.
Because everything's ruined.
Sure.
Right? I'd probably ask...
Yeah.
Well, did you not think it was interesting that one of them had a boyfriend?
Well, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? But what was the other thing that I was thinking when I was watching it? I was thinking if one got into crime and that was sent to prison,
right,
what would happen? How would you handle that?
It's brilliant. It is brilliant. If a chimp could talk.
And what was the other one? The other thing was, what do they talk about? Because it's not as if you can say, oh, well, guess what I did today? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So got past in
Well, if you just tuned in, it's XFM 104.9, you've got that bit right. Ricky Gervais show with me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
Carl is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week because we're away. And it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks since last time we were away when we got like the best of. Me and Carl went out, right? With me and Jane, Carl, Johnny and Gigi, wasn't it?
Gigi?
Is it important to win?
No.
Okay.
But we're walking on the street. Carl was there though, and he can back me up on this. We had a curry. We were walking back, and this little funny homeless fella, didn't he? He, I got to tell it before I go, didn't he?
Yes.
He came up to me, right? And he recognised it. And he came up to me and he went, oh! He said, I've just nicked one of your DVDs from HMV. And he shook my hand. He was so happy with it. And I went, right, excellent. He went, all I do is I just swing the bag over the top. Like that, when I'm going out. And he had a bag full of DVDs, didn't he? And he was so pleased to tell me that he'd stolen. Isn't that great?
He said they're going like hotcakes.
Yeah, he said they're going like, of course they are!
Yeah, you're nicking them.
I know, we get paid for them though, don't we?
So not the stolen ones?
Don't we?
No. What do you mean? Did you sign them for him? you idiot. What, so, he just nicked 5...
Yeah.
Well, and you say he was homeless, was he?
Well, he don't know, maybe.
No. Surely, how would he have seen the show? He'd just walked past Curry's one
Dixon's.
morning.
Yeah, tell you, I
Seen a
did.
trailer for it, thought, interesting.
I don't know if he was homeless, I didn't go into his home life.
He shook his hand though, and...
But he made Carl look smart, do you know what I mean? So, how does he sell them? Where does he sell them? Does he go to people and go, do you want an Office DVD? They're not nicked.
Yeah.
£4.
Yeah, exactly. Are they stolen?
No. They've still got the tags on them.
Well, it's like those people who, those cab drivers that you'll meet at sort of 3 a.m. who've just got a car, and just went out with a car, and just, I'll pick people up and charge them.
Yeah.
I got in one once. I said to him, the guy just pulled up. I said, he said I was in like East London. I'm going back to North London. I said, going to Swiss Cottage. He went, sure, hop in. We set off. He went, do you know the way? I said, well, not really, no. I thought you know the way. You're in a cabbie. He went, no, don't really know the way there. I said, have you got an A to Z? He went, no. I thought, well, if you're going to go out just on the, just winging it as a cab driver, two things, take a map and a torch. He didn't have either. He said, well, I'll probably get to Camden. I said, right, I'll direct you from there. Drove on for about 5 minutes, making conversation. In fact, 5 minutes later, he went, do you know the way to Camden? I thought, you knew the way to Camden? I don't really know the way. I thought, it was
let me out. £4.
Exactly. And that's, I don't know who's got that sort of time on their hands, that they just think, it's 3 a.m, I'm at a loose end. I think I'll go out doing a bit of cabbing.
Wow. Yeah.
Because your dad was a cabbie, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, couldn't stand it, but it's good money.
He wasn't like a chancellor.
What was he doing when he put that little Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin?
That was part of the cab company thing. They had to do like a charity event once a year, and he did it 1 year. Never asked him again.
Tell the story again.
I'd rather not,
Why?
Because we got a few sort of complaints about it.
Why? Why did you get complaints about it?
Because he put a kid in a bin, and it's not the thing to do.
But we could use it as a sort of sobering lesson for people.
Yeah, tell it like a, you shouldn't do it.
Nah, but that's how I did it last time, but people still didn't like it. All the stuff I tell you, we don't take the mickey out of people on purpose.
No.
It's real life, innit? And that goes on in life.
Yeah.
My dad was saying that in hospital, though. Do you know I was in hospital?
Yeah.
He did some jokes about old people and that. And he said, at the end of the day, if something makes you laugh, it's funny. And if it makes you laugh, you can't help laughing, can you? Do you know what I mean? So, what are you meant to do? And laughing's good for you.
Yeah.
So,
but being laughed at isn't as good for you, is it?
No, but there's probably more people laughing at one person, so if you balance it out, there's only one person who's upset and there's a bunch of people laughing. So it's
Jesus. Give me an example of that. Give me an example.
Well, for instance, Karl Pilkington as he talks and the people listening.
No, give me an example of
I can't, because again, that's what I'm saying. I can't tell you the story because there might be someone out there who, this person might even be listening and think, I forgot about that and you brought it all back to me. Yeah. So I prefer to leave it, but I think people know.
Why did he put him in the bin in the first place?
Because he was getting out of hand.
What was he doing though?
You see, I can't explain.
You can't, don't be silly.
I prefer to leave it, honestly.
What was he doing? Was he annoying him?
He was annoying my dad and the other people in the cab.
Right.
And he thought, how can I deal with this before it gets too out of hand?
Yeah.
He pulled over and put the lad in a wheelie bin.
I'm gonna burst.
So we'll leave that.
Well, here we are again, XFM on a Saturday. just gone 1 o'clock, Steve, if I'm very much mistaken. But we're not here, as such, we're away again, gallivanting around. We've got to do the special sort of best of again.
Okay.
Which we did a few weeks ago, so this is the best of the last 3 weeks. Which I think is, I think it's the best 3 weeks we've ever had. But I'd like it condensed into 2 hours.
Yeah. Some great music as well in there.
Yeah, there'll be some great music interspersed with fine chat that you've already heard.
Yeah.
Well, except this bit's new. We've actually, out of the kindness of our heart, we've come in last week.
Yeah.
And we've done a few clips, just because we felt a bit guilty about shooting off.
Yeah. Even now, having heard this link, I'm beginning to wonder if it was worth our time.
Oh, dear.
You know, I've said in the past to you, Rick, that my grandparents, so I love them dearly, but it's like, for the last 30 years, they've been waiting to die.
I know,
It's like they just sort of, it's like, the novelty wore off of like...
Life in the 50s.
They got kind of bored of it. Life, in the 40s, it was brilliant. All sat around the old Joanna as the bombs fell, singing, they loved that. The 50s, that was great as well, because that was the post-war years. It was, it's a bit tight in the pocket, but it was alright, everyone pulled together. And then the 60s came along, and all the crazy music,
Let's stay in bed.
Exactly, they basically stayed in bed. And it was one Christmas when my grandmother said to my dad, what do you like for Christmas? What do you fancy for Christmas? And this must have been, 20 years ago. She said, what do you fancy for Christmas, Ron? And he went, well, I could do with a nice big kind of warm winter overcoat. She said, don't worry about that. He said, don't worry about that, because your father will be dead soon. It's right, you can have his. Meaning my granddad. Well, to be honest with you, my father's still waiting. Which is good news. Good news for my grandfather. That's good news for my dad. He's freezing.
He's freezing. How is he today? He's fine. Okay. Oh, freezing.
It is such a weird mindset, that. I think that, to me, is what sums up people from that older generation, the 40s and 50s. And it seems to me that you've got that kind of mindset. It's like you were born in the 30s. And whenever you talk of your childhood, it's like you had like a baked potato to take to school. And a hoop and a stick is a Christmas
The other thing is, I think that that sort of generation, it seems that the man is dependent on the woman. There's a total dependence.
Oh, absolutely,
If she dies, he's done.
Yes.
He's done for. Just pine away. If he dies, she's got 30 years of pottering.
Absolutely,
Do you know what I mean? And going to the youth club and the church. It's sort of like that. It's sad. Of course, it's sad for them, but it's sort of not the end of their life.
No, sure.
And it sort of is the other way around. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's a little melancholy thought for.
I know. Really, you brought it down. You've brought it down. I've brought it. This isn't a nice show at all. This is terrible.
Well,
we're going to have people just killing themselves. What?
Well, I didn't really want to make it a Christmassy type show because I don't really like it.
Oh, he's done it again. Well, he did Christmas once, didn't like it.
No, my dad always said...
Oh, all right, steady on.
Dad said Christmas morning was for for me, so he used to stay in bed. So he never...
That's brilliant. That's a great thing, saying it. Yeah. Christmas morning's for you. Run wild, do what you want. Just don't bother me.
I'm going to Honolulu for 2 weeks.
That's great. Dad, it's Christmas. Do I have to do anything? No.
So my mum used to get up because she used to like to see my face light up, when I opened the presents. And then...
fireworks.
And then... then I'd have to go to my bedroom from about 6 o'clock onwards because my mum and dad were into having big Christmas parties and I wasn't old enough to go.
Right.
So they'd say, right, you've had your fun there, you go up to your bedroom, stay in there.
Really?
Yeah, I remember one year, right, I got a train set, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? It's brilliant. Playing with it all day. I thought, I don't mind about the party, I'm happy staying up here playing with this. Brother comes in, he's had a few, right, he's going, yeah, give us a go on your train.
How old is he?
He's a bit older than me, so he might have been let's see.
Well, let him be 18.
Yeah, probably about 18, 19.
And how old were you?
I had a train set, so I don't know, about
14.
Something like that, right? So I'm playing on that, loving it and stuff. And then he comes in and goes, oh, gives a go. He turns the transformer up to 14. He went really fast for about 5 seconds, broke it, and then he went back downstairs.
Wow.
So Christmas, I hadn't even got...
Sounds like the Conservative government with British Rail.
Satire.
Rick, I just saw that. There's satire. If there's any satirical shows listening or
it doesn't work in any way because there's the analogy falls down apart from there being a train.
Think it through though. British Rail was trains,
and
the government broke the trains in many ways. They didn't break them, not officially breaking them, but they
it does work. It's perfect.
I'm pretty pleased with that.
And I can't. And no one's asked him to be on. Have I got this for you?
It's weird, isn't it?
Because
it's strange that when you've got a satirical mind that's as quick as that.
Yeah. And it's broke your little train set. So what did you do?
I just watched telly and had some sausages.
I bet you were happy with that though, weren't you?
It's a bit annoying though, isn't it, when your main present of the year has been broke.
And did it ever get it fixed?
No, that was it. Put away.
I'm intrigued why your parents wouldn't let you come and join in the festive fun. Was it like really debauched down there? Was it like eggnog everywhere?
Well, no, but I mean, that's fair enough. 6 is a little bit early, but I just think, you know, if you're your kid, he had his fun, put him to bed at 8 maybe. And he
think so on Christmas Day? I thought that was a day for family.
Well, not if there's a party going on.
Well, don't have the party on Christmas Day.
Well, that's another option.
Yeah. Your parents are weird, aren't they? A strange breed.
Well, I think that was the year, right? You're talking about buying presents and stuff. I think I did treat my mum to... I didn't buy my dad anything. I think that was like when I got a bit older, he used to get my dad something because he wasn't that bothered anyway. No. So, got my mum, there was a cheap shop, right?
Of course.
Thank God for that.
Called Snips. So I went in there and I thought, let's see what I can get her. And remember Victoria Plum?
I don't think so.
Well, it's like a fairy character.
Right.
And my mum's into gnomes and stuff. Right? So I thought, right...
She must be pleased with you then.
Victoria Plum. I was thinking, is that one of the neighbours? Is it like a brandy
Do you
liqueur?
remember Victoria Plum?
Victoria Plum.
Victoria Plum, yeah, it's like a little fictional sort of character. Right?
Okay.
So I saw it, I thought, yeah, she'll love that. Right. So I did my paper round, saved up for 2 weeks, right? Got that sorted, went to Snips, bought the Victoria Plum. Next day I'm in town with her, right? So I think, I know what I'll do. I said, come in here a minute, right? So we go in and we're looking around and I tested her, right? I went, look at that there, that's alright, isn't it? And she goes, oh, it's bloody awful.
Oh, Carl. Oh, Carl. Oh, God.
So then Christmas Day comes and I said, don't bother opening it. She said, no, why? I said,
Oh, no, why did you still give it to her?
So, well, it's too late, I'd already bought it.
Oh, Carl.
So she opened it and I was like, and she said, oh, that's nice. I said, why are you saying that? I said, the other day, she said, it's bloody awful. She said, oh, no, I thought you were pointing at something else.
Oh, no.
So that's why I don't get anyone anything anymore.
Oh, God. Play the record. Oh, God.
No, gonna put my foot in
XFM 104.9, we're not here. This next clip is one of my favourite clips. Look, it needs no introduction. Here it is.
Something else we're giving away.
Go on.
The Shining.
It's just more throwing away, isn't it?
Like, once again,
Is it on video?
Once again, it's on VHS.
Just because you buy it out of your own money, Carl, stop being so mean.
And I want to watch it tonight because it's one of those films that...
So you're going to watch this video and then you're going to send it to someone as a prize.
Yeah, it's one of them films that...
Sorry, you just said yes to that without blinking.
Well, yeah. You don't think, like, Les Dennis doesn't have a quick go in the car on Family Fortune before he gives it away?
It costs
Jim Bowen has a go at those his nerve towel racks.
It costs $5.99, Carl.
Okay, this is Carl in the classic The Shining.
And what's the question?
Well, we might ask that afterwards.
Okay, then. Still trying to write the book then? No?
Yes.
Good. Funny, someone told me the other day, weird thing about a typewriter, the top row of letters, the longest word you can write is typewriter. I'll just show you. That's weird, isn't it? It's just the typewriter being... You're not in the mood, you're in one of those grouchy moods again, that you get into when you're writing.
I'm not being grouchy. I just want to finish my work.
Yeah, it's just being a bit funny, a bit offhand and that.
Let me explain something to you.
Go on.
Whenever you come in here and interrupt me, you're breaking my concentration. You're distracting me. And it will then take me time to get back to where I was. Understand?
Yeah, but I just was coming in to try and cheer you up, you know, if you... I mean, I'm full of ideas as well, you know, if you're having a problem coming up with stuff, got loads of ideas you could write about. The other day I read about this airy Chinese kid.
What do you want me to do about it?
No, it's just that it could make a good book, do you know what I mean, sort of follow him round.
That's swell.
Well, I'd buy it, you know. But if you don't want to know, don't bother doing it. But, do you know what I mean? Just area Chinese kid. It's weird because they're not normally that area over there. Yeah, this kid caked in it. But if you don't care,
I wouldn't touch one hair on his goddamn lead.
you won't have to touch any hair on his head. Like I say, he's covered. Leave the head alone if you want. Touch his hands. He's totally covered in it. But
I love the little son of a bitch.
Well, don't go that far. You haven't met him, but I can sort it.
I'd do anything for him.
I don't think you'd expect that much. Just take him to the barbers 3 or 4 times a week. You know, he's a good little kid. In fact, I'll do it. I think I'll write a book on him. Yeah?
Do you think you can handle that?
Yeah?
You're not too busy, are you?
Well, I'm pretty busy. I've got to sort out some monkey facts for the show this Saturday, but I reckon I can still...
Why don't you start right now and get out of here?
Alright. I will. If you're going to be like that. Couldn't borrow a pen, could I? See you later.
There you go.
Haunting stuff there. Karl Pilkington in The Shining.
You know, in the film, Jack Nicholson goes crazy because the suggestion is he's maybe possessed by demons that maybe are in the hotel. But you know, if I was stranded in a desolate hotel, removed from all human contact with Karl, I'd go mental with an axe without being possessed by demons. That's more chilling to me, trying to get some work done and you keep wandering in.
I'm trying to get Karl to spend a couple of days in the caravan with me, just for the hell of it. And he won't. I've offered him money, won't I? I think it'd be a great laugh, won't it, Karl?
Oh yeah, great.
That would be terrifying.
No, I want to film it. I just want to film it. Like a little video diary. There's Karl there, he's just waking up.
Well,
if I was stranded in that would be like being... I may as well be with Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. That's more scary.
The thing is, Ricky doesn't mess you about as much as he messes me about.
No, you see, you've given him an inch. You've given him an inch and he's taken a yard.
12:30 you got in today. In 30 minutes between 12:30 and 1. The old bin lid on the head. He wanted to do that again.
Yep.
Squeezing my head. I think he had a go at. And karate chop on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
All in 30 minutes. Yeah. Who else can say that?
Who else can say that?
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais show with Steve Merchant, hello there.
Good.
And we're not here this week, we're off jetting around the world, so we've pre-recorded these links. The time is currently somewhere between 1 and 3 o'clock.
So a time check there from Steve Merchant.
No problem.
Yeah, and what about this weather? Isn't it warm, stroke, edit that, Karl, cold? Okay, whichever one.
I'm pleased to see that the congestion charge has had some considerable effect. Had no effect.
So just, wasn't that great on telly last night, the film?
Yeah. I particularly enjoyed last night's EastEnders, Coronation Street, Brookside.
Okay, yeah. But
That was good.
It rocks.
I hope the audience is playing it loud like us.
Yeah. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Well, look at him yawning. How rude is that?
Carl, what's wrong with you, man? Have you been up late?
A little bit.
Girlfriend was away, wasn't she, yesterday?
Yeah, I always have a problem with that. Because you don't go to bed, do you, early? Do you know what I mean? You sort of think... I just always find that thing that if, you're used to living with someone, one of you will go, let's go to bed, then you'll go, alright. But when you're on your own, you go...
You just forget to go to bed.
I just stay up.
Okay, stop eating now, Karl. You've ate all the food, that's just a plate. Alright, okay.
Yeah.
No, I stayed up and watched... there was a thing on about Dracula.
Right. What, Dracula?
And I found a flaw in it.
Go on.
Not the fact that he's the living dead and he's...
No.
That drinks blood to stay alive and he doesn't reflect.
And he can turn into a bat.
And you can go on.
The mirror thing, you can't look in mirrors, can he?
Well, he can look in mirrors, but he can't see himself in them.
Yeah.
That still doesn't work.
Go on. It doesn't work at all, Karl. It doesn't work at all.
No.
Well, centre parting's always really neat.
His centre parting's always really
How does he do it if you can't look in the mirror?
Blood on the floor or something it was called. Rubbish.
I love the floor in the Dracula film is centre parting's too neat. How did he do it without a mirror? Ah.
Was it a documentary about Dracula?
No,
Yeah,
it was
the real Dracula film.
Yeah, the real Dracula.
It's just a film. Blood on the floor or something it's called. It's rubbish.
We had a little lunch yesterday, didn't we?
We did indeed. That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate going out with you two.
I was explaining to Carl, right? I like to excite Carl's imagination, right? And if it involves chimps or monkeys, all the better. Brains he likes, parts of the body, deformity. You know, I know where to, what buttons to push. And I told him about this thing. I don't know if any of you out there know about this, but there's an experiment they did in the 50s, a clinical psychology experiment where there's your two hemispheres of the brain, okay? They're joined by a thing called the corpus callosum, right? Which is just a little flap of skin, like a little scarlet lead that joins your two hemispheres. And what they did, they cut that in half, and they thought it was a cure for schizophrenia, but what it turned out to be, or epilepsy, I think, I can't remember, was that your two sides of your brains didn't function together. You couldn't get information. I was telling Carl all this thing, and one of the things I told him was that they did it on a monkey, and it fought itself over a nut. Like its right arm was connected, by its left lobe of the brain, and it was fighting over itself. And Carl went, instead of thinking this is amazing experiment, he went, would it have been happy if you'd given it two nuts?
Yeah, I know. Well, you started off by explaining, and I remember you mentioned, because I was watching the two of you as you were describing it to me, you said, of course, one side of the brain deals with symbolism, and as you said the word symbolism, I noticed Carl drift away from looking at you, pick up his mobile phone, and start pressing buttons randomly. And I thought it was the word symbolism that got him. And I noticed it took you just a moment longer, and I think the first thing you said was, when did I lose you?
Yeah, I knew I'd lost him.
It's extraordinary, and he doesn't even try to disguise
I said nomenclature at one point as well.
Right, yeah.
And I knew I was dicing with death there.
Yeah.
But but I told you tried to look it up, didn't you, on the web? You didn't find anything about it,
the
did you?
spelling of it's what is it again? What's the word?
Corpus callosum.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
No, it's no point. Don't bother.
Give up.
Don't bother. So if anyone knows any interesting facts about that,
but yours hasn't been cut in half, has it, Carl? That would, again, might explain something.
I'll tell you what we will be talking about later. I don't know if you're sort of aware of them, Steve.
Go on.
Bonobos.
Oh, I
don't know much about bonobos.
I told him about them. He was looking for stuff. I said, put in bonobo. He was having no luck with chimp. And they're a form of chimpanzee, but they're even closer to us, evolutionarily speaking. They've got their social groups are more like ours. They're more intelligent. And he was loving it, weren't you?
So is it human bonobo Carl? Is that how it works on the evolutionary ladder?
Chimp Carl.
Yeah. So talking about bonobos, you're excited about that?
Yeah.
That's coming up in Monkey News?
No, I think it's a bit of a monkey bonus.
Oh, that was great. That was very, very funny.
What a wonderful clip that was.
I enjoyed it.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, it's a few weeks ago, wasn't it, really? I mean,
I think it was last week.
we'd have to have very, very bad memories not to remember that hilarious clip. I'd like to hear that again maybe in a couple of weeks' time when I'm away.
Yes, absolutely.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And but the good thing is, on telly, I feel a bit guilty about putting out shoddy rubbish because I'm getting paid an awful lot.
Yes.
But here, I don't give a shit. They can bleep that.
They will do. They will do.
Bit of David Bowie. When's that ever hurt anyone, Steve?
Never.
Lady Stardust off Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant. Karl Pilkington is in the middle of educating me. Then, educate me.
Did I tell you the time when the doctor said I was going to die?
Alright, keep talking.
Right, ages ago, must have been about 15, right? And at lunchtime there was this. We used to have a choice of stuff to do at lunchtime, right? We used to have like a burger place that had an arcade machine in it, right? So we used to go there and play on that and have a burger. Or there was this baker's, right, that my mum worked at, and did great cakes and stuff, right? So she used to bring some home and that, but she couldn't always bring them home every night because you know, they cost money, and she used to get them for free. And they used to say they'd rather chuck them away than give them to the staff because there's a chance that the cream might be off. Right, so they used to chuck them round the back. So I used to go around the back with my mate and eat a load.
Brilliant. Eating out of bins.
No, it wasn't out of bins, they were still in trays, but they just stacked them up near the bins, right? So this got out, I mean, it used to be chocker. Once the school found out, everybody used to go there and it'd be like, well, have a cake.
The headmaster crawled fighting the kids off.
Right, so I'd have, you just eat, 6 jam donuts or something, and then you'd spend your dinner money on the arcade machine.
Brilliant.
Right? So it was a good afternoon, really, right? So you'd do that, and this one day I must have had 6 or 7 jam donuts, a few Congress tarts.
What's a Congress tart?
I love them, I can't get them in London, right? So I'd have some of them.
If anyone can get a Congress tart for Karl in London, please let him know.
So anyway, this day, that was just a normal day. Do you know what I mean? You'd once, twice a week, you'd have a load of cake.
In your life,
yeah.
So anyway,
in your life. Were the frog boys there with the webbed hands and the big heads, and the horse in the settee?
But the day after one of these days, I had really bad cramp in my belly. Right?
Yeah.
I was like in agony, could hardly walk. So I said to my mum,
You could hardly stagger to the free cake.
So I was in absolute agony. I said, I don't like doctors, but you'll have to get a doctor in because I don't know what it is, I can't walk. Just gets the doctor around. I won't say his name, but he said, well, doesn't look like he's got long left.
Blimey.
So I was a bit like, hang on a minute, I've only had a few cream donuts.
Yeah.
My mum was panicking.
Sure.
He went, my dad came in from work. She said, something's really bad with Karl, I think it's serious. The doctor said he ain't got long left. So he said, what? He said that and just left? So she said, yeah. He said, I'll have to call him then. So he called him up and said, what's all this about? Karl hasn't got long left, how long's he got? So he goes, I was only messing. It's just had some bad cream. Can you believe that?
Well, the thing is,
I like the fact your mum didn't ask any questions.
I know.
She didn't go into detail. Can you explain more, doctor? No, I got to show off.
But she doesn't.
I don't want to diss you or your family, but I imagine if I was there, I'd have known the doctor was joking. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I sound very arrogant there, but I imagine he went, what's he been doing? Yeah, I had about 6 cream grads. Oh, right. Oh, wow. He hasn't got long to live then. I'll see you later. That's what I think the doctor did.
Yeah. It's like the idea your mum just let him go.
Yeah.
Terrified, thinking, well, I'm not going to probe him. That's it now.
Dad comes in. Hi, honey, I'm home. Anything happened? The doctor said Karl's going to die and then left. Did he? I'll call him.
But anyway, that's why these sort of things fascinate me. So we'll move on to this next one, right, which is brilliant. Dead short story. So, right, old woman, about 70 years old. Yeah. She's normally fit and healthy and stuff. Nothing wrong with her. She's having a good life. And one day she goes for a check to the doctors, just to check herself out. She's getting on a bit. He says, take your clothes off and that. So she does, and checks her out. Says, yeah, you're looking good. Turn round. He said, oh God. He says, you got a tumour on your buttock. Right. So she goes, what, can you do anything to sort it out? So they go, yeah, we could book you in for an operation. It's best if we remove this. Books are in for an operation. Operation day comes, strip her down and that. They're all stood round, the doctors. Start to operate. It only turns out it's a pork chop that she sat on 5 years earlier and it had stuck to her buttock.
Right, Karl.
I can forward you. Serious.
Right, okay, Karl, I'm telling you now, I'm leaving. I'm never doing this show again.
No, I'm serious. Honestly.
I've never had such. What do you mean? You couldn't believe it?
No, when I read it, I said I've got to tell
this woman had a pork chop stuck to her arse for 5 years. You mental case. Of course she didn't.
Is a blinding record, and before that, Rick, what do you make of those adverts? They were great, weren't they?
I like them, yeah. I'm going to buy all them products on the way home.
And that's endorsed by Ricky Gervais. He's won awards.
Yeah.
Rick, do you remember this? This was a hilarious one. No, you'll remember this. When you hear it, it was when Karl said something that was basic. Well, I think for a lot of people it sounded like a lot of old bollocks.
What have we got now?
Right, so we're looking into animals that we get rid of. I've spoken to someone about snails. I spoke to someone about jellyfish. and that, and looking at cockroaches today.
She's an expert, she's just not just some random person.
No, she works in a museum, a good museum. I said I'd give it a plug. It's the one near Knightsbridge. It's got dinosaurs and that in it. It's worth seeing.
And that's the History Museum.
Yeah. So,
He's not sure. He's not sure.
This is what happened. Now, what I'll do, I'll tell you as much as I know, and then you can fill me in if I'm right or wrong. And then at the end of it, we'll get to the bottom of whether we need them or not.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, the first thing that I found out is that they have 18 knees.
That's not exactly possible. They're insects, so they have 6 legs.
Yeah.
And a knee is usually the junction between femur and tibia. That's sort of classic human knee and every other animal knee. So with 6 legs, you can only have 6 knees.
Could somebody sort of got mistaken for seeing one that was a bit double jointed? Cover
I think
tracks.
you're grasping at straws or something.
All right. Well, we might have to come back to that one then. They can hold the breath for 40 minutes.
Well, they don't do that because they don't breathe in the same way as us. They breathe through little spiracles, holes down the side of the body. So, no, they're not a very apt simile because the method of breathing is so different.
What do you mean?
Because insects have a totally different system. They don't have lungs in the way that we do and just breathing through one part of the body. They're actually breathing through every segment of the body all of the time.
So even though they've got their mouth shut, they might be able to slide.
Nothing to do with breathing.
So
Only
just
feeding.
So you see, maybe that's where someone's gone wrong. Someone's got hold of one and sort of taped its mouth up or something and got bored after 40 minutes and said, well, we'll call it right.
It's a unkind thing to do to an insect, even to a cockroach.
Yeah, but it's all...
You can't do that.
Yeah, but...
No. Pretty unkind thing to do anything, even a cockroach.
Something else I found out.
Yeah.
They can live for a week without an head.
Well, that's true if they don't bleed to death in the process.
But the weird thing is, when I told you that they had 18 knees, you seemed a bit sort of like, don't talk ridiculous. But then we're talking about an animal that can live without an head. So there's a little bit of truth in that one, yeah?
Yes.
Why, when it was invented, has it got that facility? Say if someone said to humans, we could do that with humans, and you know, if you lose your head in some accident, it gives you a bit of time to sort of go back to your family and maybe write them a note. You won't be able to have a chat, but write them a note saying it was my own fault and it was nice knowing you.
Well, that would be a useful facility, I agree. But cockroaches are great survivors. I mean, they've been around for over 300 million years. They're one of the most primitive insects.
All right. Well, I've also, is it true that they do a lot of resting? Apparently they can sort of rest for 75% of the time.
Rest?
Yeah, they just sit about doing nothing.
It's probably true of a vast proportion of the world's fauna.
I mean, maybe the 25% that they are working, they're really giving it some, so it might make up.
Probably searching out food and, yeah, they can slow down considerably. You can chill insects in the fridge and they'll become very, very quiet. You might think they're dead.
Yeah, but I'm sure, you know, if we were sat in a fridge, you know, we'd go a bit quiet, wouldn't we, you know?
Well, you might not know much about it, of course.
Yeah, but...
Not quite reading the right sources.
Well, I've been using the internet.
I'm sure there are many useful sources that you could find there, but some of those seem to have been a little misleading to you.
So you don't agree with a lot of what I've told you there?
No.
So, cockroaches, can we get rid of them?
No.
So we're keeping them then?
I would say so, yes.
I think we should get her on more often because she sounds like she'd be a bit of an ally, really. Because she knew immediately that you were talking nonsense. She even said, I think you should be more concerned about your sources, which I've been trying to tell you for a year, right? The fact, I mean 18 knees, where did you get that from?
It's on the internet.
They can hold their breath for 40 minutes. I mean, I don't know what you read and take on.
Mad world, don't it?
But if you've just tuned in, it's XFM 104.9, you've got that bit right. Ricky Gervais show with me, Stephen Merchant. Hello there. Carl is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week because we're away. And it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks since last time we were away when we got like the best of. Okay, what's the next one? What's the next? Ricky?
I don't know. See, like I say, I was looking around and there's stuff that is interesting. Right? I was looking on the web.
But there's no point.
Well, it's just that I found one about...
what's the point?
About a lad who, 8 years old, but he's still breastfed. Now, I don't know if you can get anything out of that.
Is that what his mum said? What do you mean I don't know if I can get anything out of that? You don't need to.
No, it's just that, you know...
Where did you read that?
That was on the internet.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're always unspecific when you mention it. It's just it was on the internet.
Well, I'm trying to think what I put in. I think I put in Y to see if I'd confuse a computer.
Carl, you are...
No,
honestly.
I did a search, put in Y, and he came up with funny things that, like, why is this person doing that? Why is that? And it had a picture of this 8-year-old lad, sort of, you know, on his mum's nipple. And it was saying, you know, is this healthy?
You sure that wasn't asking you that question?
What? I put in Y just to confuse the computer. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh, look, yeah. Last week, I was walking home with him, and I went, he was saying something stupid, and I went, I've got a competition for next week. Let's do a phone-in, and it's called Karl Pilkington, Genius or Fool.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, no. I went, why not? He went, well, it'd be confusing, because they say there's no difference between genius and being a fool.
Do they not?
No, but it's rubbish, and people say there's a fine line between madness and genius, and you know, it's a ridiculous soundbite. They don't say there's a fine line between a genius and an idiot.
Well, the people who do are idiots.
Yeah.
So what would you do there, though, just to sort of wrap that little thing up? What would you do? That lad loves his mum's milk.
What are you asking me to come up with?
No, I'm just...
A title for the story?
No. It's just what would you do? Right?
What do you mean, what would I do?
Well, it's causing a bit of a problem in the area, right?
What area?
In America, I think it was.
Oh, America are a problem, are they? George Bush is worried about this kid who's breastfeeding at 8.
Imagine it like this, right?
So, Carl, what are you asking me? About this spurious story you saw on the internet?
I saw it on the internet. There's an 8-year-old lad, he likes his mum's milk, and it's saying, is this right? Should it
No, it's not. But what do
you want Ricky to do about it? It's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
No, but the little town that he lives in, they're all causing an uproar, right? Going, this isn't right, you know, I can't let my kid play out in case he's in the garden with his mum getting a bit hungry, right? So, what should they do? Because his mum's saying, well, he likes it.
Yeah.
And he, you know, so what do you do?
I don't know the laws.
No, but I'm not asking you to sort out the laws. I'm just saying, if you lived in that neighbourhood, what would you say? If you went up to him and said, look, everyone's getting a bit fed up with this, look.
I'd say, what would I do? What do you mean, what would I do? what are you asking me?
Right, it doesn't matter.
No, what are you asking me? What are you asking me and Steve and the public?
I'm just saying, say if you live next door to this woman.
Yeah.
Right? The kid's hungry, 8 years old, he's out playing on his bike and he goes, Mum, I'm getting a bit peckish, and he goes, alright son. She whops one out. And he starts having his milk, right? You live next door, you're putting your washing out, and you see this going on. You're getting a bit sick of it, because it's gone on for months.
8 years, I see.
Why is it your business? Why are you such a nosy neighbour that you're concerned?
What would you do, Carl? Let's turn it back on it.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What's your solution?
What would you do?
Well, I thought I'd say, right, why are you doing this? And she'd say, because he likes it. And I go, all right then, put it in a bowl first.
And you think that would sort that out?
No, because I was thinking about the whole thing, right? And you do that when you're a baby, and everything's all right, innit?
Yeah.
No one bats an eyelid at a little baby having a bit of milk from its mum's breast, right?
Yeah.
You'd almost say it was natural.
But you grow out of it. It's like you don't see. It got me thinking about things you don't see, and you don't see.
You put this into a computer. Show me things you don't see.
What else don't you see?
Well, you don't see like an old man having a Twix. You never. So what?
You know the terrible thing about all this, Steve, is he's right. You don't see it. No, that's a terrible thing.
So what they have got, right? They've made old man toffees, haven't they? They've come up with Werthers.
Is that a song? Oh God! You don't see it.
So they've got their Werthers, right?
Yeah.
So,
look at him. You think he's giving a lecture at Oxford?
It's not going anywhere.
No, go on. Sorry. Go on.
I'm just saying.
Right.
You grow out of things.
Yeah.
And the old man, I'm sure when he was a kid, he'd have a Twix.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't look right, so he's having...
It doesn't look right!
So...
Right. I don't think Werther's originals were specially designed for old people. I think they were sweets that just happened to have been made for years. That's why old people eat them.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hang on, there's a market here. I've noticed old people aren't eating Twixes. Quick, let's make some old man sweets.
But the little advert, he gives it to his grandson as well, doesn't he? He goes, have a Werther's original.
No, I think it cuts though before he throws it back in his face and get me a Twix.
XFM 104.9, we're not here.
It is a bit like being Dennis Norden, playing some great moments from the show.
I was just imagining Dennis Norden one day, sort of just like waking up out of his stupor, he's doing this, and he'd go into the producer and go, I've just seen a couple of my programmes.
I just saw It'll Be Right on the Night 18.
It's
terrible.
Why didn't someone tell me? Well, we didn't want to upset you because, you know. But I've been doing it way too long. Well, you could just let me go on forever. Well, until you died, yeah. Well, why can't my son take over? Well, he's 80, Dennis.
And the jokes I'm doing, they're awful.
They're just... Why have I got that clipboard?
I've written these jokes, they're not funny. There's an audience, they're laughing. What are they laughing
They're not laughing, they're not laughing, that's canned laughter.
Who are those audience? Who goes to an audience for It'll Be Right on the Night?
A lot of them are older than you.
It can't be right.
You know we have 15% fatality in one of your audiences.
But I went home at Christmas, I watched one of the episodes. It was with my family and friends. I said, watch this, you'll love it. Stony face, no one laughed. They all thought it was
Well, it is
Well, why didn't you tell me earlier?
We didn't want to hurt your feelings, you're an old man. You may be upward of 102.
I didn't realise.
Yeah.
Here's a problem that someone's emailed in. We're taking emails today. If you've got a problem, a concern, or just a general query that you think Karl could answer for you. It could be about anything. It could be about some of the big kind of philosophical questions.
Yeah.
It could be something to do with war or famine, anything like that. Or it could just be a personal dilemma. Something that's happening locally. And if this seems one that I think you and your father have probably come across this sort of dilemma in the past. And I'd be interested to know what your take is on it. Let me see, this is from Lee Matthews by the look of it. He says, he lives in a suburban area where the local teenagers also live on the same road, and they're running riot. They're smashing wing mirrors off the cars, they're crashing into parked cars on their skateboards, and they're just generally making mayhem, night and day. What can he do to stop this going on? The parents of the kids don't seem to give a damn. Anyone who complains to them, they just say, oh, piss off. The police are useless because they never catch them in the actual act of violence, which is what they got to do to apparently convict them. So they don't know who to turn to, really. It's rather like when a little old lady went and got the A-team,
It's a great note, and he was dressed as an elderly Chinaman.
Exactly.
She knew who he was. Colonel Decker didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
You see, it's weird because now it has got out of hand. Do you know what I mean? Like years ago when I was growing up on the estate, you had problems, but not like you have now. Do you know what I mean?
Summers were nice as well, weren't they?
Well, right. And
police are getting shorter, and
but you yourself kind of admitted in the past that you were something of a tearaway. You didn't do anything like these kids here.
The thing is, I was scared that if I got caught doing it, my dad would go mad.
Yes.
And I remember smashing a car window by accident and legging it in the lounge and sort of pretending to go asleep on the settee. Right?
Genius.
And I heard a knock at the door.
Chloroformed himself just to be unconscious when his dad came home.
And there was a knock on the door, and I thought, oh God, this is a fella who saw me. I was chucking a stone in the air, seeing how high I could throw it.
Of course you were. Did it keep landing on your head? That would explain a lot.
And it came down.
Chucking a stone in the air, love
To
it.
see how far I could throw it.
Brilliant.
So, you know, I wasn't bothering him.
Did you invent that game?
Did you get a stone for your birthday? Go and play with your stone.
He gave one to Suzanne.
Carl, go and play with your stone.
The thing is, right, and it came down at a funny angle, and it
Of course it did.
It hit the back of this car, and the back window is the most expensive because it has that heating thing in it.
Yeah.
In case you got a frosty window.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh God. So I legged it in, got on the settee, went to sleep, knocked at the door.
Genius. It's a brilliant plan. It's a brilliant plan. I couldn't be guilty. I'm asleep.
So
I love the idea.
So the thing is, our lounge used to sort of you could see in from the door, right? So this family who saw me do it saw me asleep on the settee, and my mum said, "Go and get the door." And I sort of went, "Oh," as if I'd been asleep. Yeah. I went to the door, like rubbing my eyes, and the fella said, "What did you run off for? I saw you." I was like, "Oh no," and I didn't see my dad. I went out. It was when he was working sort of evenings, so I went out so I didn't have to see my dad. And then the next day I came home from school, and my dad said, 45 quid. Ooh. That's all he said. That's all he looked at me.
And then you fell asleep when he went, wake up. You what said? No, 45 quid.
No, the thing,
Carl,
he didn't have to do
£45, Carl. Now I know you were saving up for a brick, but you can't have it.
Yeah. Just
equally, if you're doing a bigger crime, you know, a bank job or a murder.
Remember to take the stocking off your head, because they wake you up and go, why have you got a stocking on your head? Just go, oh, I had a weird dream.
Right.
Okay, look, a quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University. Sure. He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
The arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks.
Right.
And then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, don't go along with it. But if they're half bad, put up with it. That's right. The dancing.
Brilliant.
Right?
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves.
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was like pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and it had become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what